Did you see the Batman 2022 skin for Arkham Knight? Yeah, they unlisted it. I guess we can touch on that real quick. They accidentally, apparently, updated Batman Arkham Knight after 8 years. They updated this and they added Robert Pattinson's Batman suit to it, and people got like footage of it. They actually recorded it. They have screen caps and everything of it in the game. And they ended up swiftly updating it again just hours later and wiped it out. So now you can't get it. It seems like it was a mistake. Clearly they put it in the game, but it seems like they published it too early. So the question is, like, were they planning on doing this at another time? Is it for the far future? Is it something they were going to charge for and they just ended up not? Most people seem to think that it's probably going to come out with the Switch port on the 1st, and they're going to bundle it into the Epic Game Store and stuff. Joe Raptor said he thinks it's going to be like a perk for pre-ordering Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. If that's what they're going to do as well, that's insane. I don't think so. I think this is probably they're going to launch a free update with this and the Switch version to try to hype people up on it and do like a 50% off sale or something. I think that's what they're doing. Because they probably got some licensing deal where they're gonna get, you know, some kickback from this. Maybe they charge for it. I don't know. It seems insane though to release a single skin for a game that's 8 years old and charge money for it.
They added the Robert Pattinson Batsuit to Batman Arkham Knight, and then they said, okay, the Pattinson skin has now been removed from Batman Arkham Knight on Epic Game Store. As shown in the video, it's clear it wasn't supposed to be released this early. At least we know it's coming. And then they say probably together with the Batman Arkham trilogy for Switch on December 1st. But I tweeted, and I'm gonna make this prediction right now: pre-order Suicide Squad to get the suit. Lock it in. Yeah. We gotta lock it in.
I would not be shocked at all if that's what it is. Yeah. They're like, how do we get people to buy this damn game? I don't know.
Let's give us suits for this
other game they love. That other game they really like. Let's give them something for that, because they won't like this very much.
I tweeted this and all people like, delete this tweet now.
Don't
Let's
curse
not give
us
them
with
ideas.
this. Yeah, for real. Oh, that's magnificent. That would be so funny if that's what they actually end up doing. Oh my god.
Oh my god. It makes so much sense to me.
What's sad is that it does make sense. Like, it lines up really well, and it would not surprise me at all. Did you see Embracer Group going defunct in the future? Embracer, so just so everybody is clear on this, Embracer is a very large conglomerate of studios and publishers and stuff. If you are not familiar with them at first glance, they own a ton of franchises, a ton of studios that you certainly do know. So THQ Nordic, Gearbox, you might not know these. Oh, they own the Ticket to Ride guys, really? Oh, that's funny. Dark Horse, Free Mode, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, Deca, Saber, Amplifier, Coffee Stain, PlayOn. They really hit it out of the park with Saints Row. I mean, they own a ton of different companies and studios and stuff. And what they did is during COVID, they negotiated with the Saudi Arabian government with their investment fund to get a deal where we were talking billions of dollars. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 billion, a $2 billion deal where they were basically going to invest straight cash, $2 billion into Embracer Group, and then Embracer Group would in turn give them a share of profits and revenues that would come after that, like a typical investment. But this fell through, and the Saudi Arabian government, for whatever reason, or their investment fund managers, decided that Embracer Group was not a great group to go with for this investment, so they pulled out. Some people are blaming Saints Row for this, because the Saints Row remake showed that the quality control was not there, and maybe that scared them off and made them go, you know what, I just don't think we can trust you with $2 billion. But the problem is, Embracer had done a lot of stuff assuming they were going to get $2 billion. It's the same exact thing as in The Office, when Michael thinks he's going to get like that surplus bonus check, and so he goes and buys a $600 fur coat, and he's like, lesson learned, don't buy a fur coat with cash until you know you actually have the money. And that's what happened here, where they bought up all these studios, expanded really far and really hard, and then they lost the money, and now they're sitting with something they can't actually afford. It's like if you got a new job or got offered a new job, or you thought you were getting offered a new job. Let's just say you got offered a new job and they tell you, we're going to pay you $100,000 a year. Okay. It's like your take home is going to be what? Like $9,000, like 8,000 ish a month. And you're like, wow, 8,000 a month. Jesus. Alex, I'll get to that in just a second, my friend. Thank you so much. But they say, we're going to give you this much money, $8,000 a month. And you're like, oh my God, I can do so much. So you go and you get a new car that has $1,000 a month payment. And then you go and you move into a new house that has a $3,000 mortgage. And you do all of this other stuff. And before you know it, you just have expanded to have like $4,000 or $5,000 in monthly expenses. And then you find out that they're backing out and you don't actually have the job. You'd be panicked. Understandably so. And you would probably try to return the car. You'd probably try to sell the house and move. Everything that you did, you try to pull back on as far as you could. And that's what Embracer Group is doing. They are trying to downsize. They're trying to back down because they did all of this stuff expecting a big influx of cash that they now don't have. And so now they're trying to cut the bloat wherever they can find it. Make sure that games and studios that are underperforming get staff cuts and only are putting out games that are actually profitable. And it's frustrating because it means a lot of people get laid off, but this is basically the same thing that happens when quality control takes a dip and customers lose confidence in those titles. They're just going to stop buying them. Like, you can't put out 5s and 6s out of 10s forever and expect people to just keep on taking it. It just doesn't work. And that's kind of where we are now, where a lot of Embracer Group stuff is just kind of at that mid tier, even like sub mid. It's like low tier. And as a result, a lot of people are just not super confident in their games when they're announced and when they're released. So they don't tend to perform super well. And I mean, this is what we get. So the Embracer Group stuff is crappy for everybody, but it was kind of expected to. I guess we should mention this. So today marks a momentous day, the 26th of October. Does anyone know what the significance of this day is? No? I'll tell you. This is the day that GTA 6 leakers have been saying the game would be announced on for like a year. And they've said, this is the day. This is the day. Apparently, most of the rumors started with a faked like AI voice clone copy, whatever thing that was faked, pretending that the game was going to be announced on this date. But people have been losing their minds, suggesting that GTA 6 will launch today or will be announced today. And it's 2 p.m. where I'm at. And
no, it's not going to happen.
So I don't think it's happening, boys. I'll tell you what. No.
But I will say, because like I do think like actually every day that passes has a higher chance, and this is of course very obvious, that GTA 6 will be announced.
Yeah.
But I do think, because like Rockstar, there are some similarities to what they do. Like Red Dead Redemption 2 was also announced in October. And then was supposed to launch a year later, but then of course got delayed by a year. So, but still, it launched 2 years almost after the announcement. And we have like too many indications that Take-Two has a big year next year. And the only possible reason, or like the only thing that can make that happen, is GTA 6. So if it is indeed launching next year, then at least like teasing it this year makes sense.
Yeah.
And they do have their like earnings call on November 8th. So if they are going to announce it this year, it's going to be before that.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it afterwards. That doesn't make sense. So I really think don't hold your breath. It's probably not going to happen. If it will happen, it will be early November. So just before that investor, because that would be for them like the best moment, because then their stock will skyrocket and then they can immediately on the call talk about it, give some more color. On the other hand, though, like when Red Dead Redemption 2 was announced, that was in 2016. Times have changed. Like the hype cycles for games have like significantly lessened. Like they're shorter. So it could totally, like, they can announce GTA 6 in June and launch it in September, and it won't matter, and they will have spent way less marketing dollars, and they will not have 10 million emails every day about the new trailer or new screenshot. That might actually be smarter to just hold it, and when you're like when you're like putting the finishing touches on the game, when it's about to get gold, bam, you announce it, launch in 2 weeks, maybe not 2 weeks, like a month or two. I think that might be a smarter way actually to do it.
I think so too. Every studio seems to be moving that way, and also just let's be honest, it's Rockstar. They no doubt have seen the stuff of like, oh, GTA 6 announced on the 26th. If they've seen that, I would bet good money that they're like, okay, we'll do it on the 27th. You know, like they're going to do it just a little, or early November. You know, I do agree. If it's going to come, it's probably going to come in early November, just because then they can ride into the conference call and just be like, yes, we are the kings of gaming. Bow to us. And they can be much more specific about their plans. But yeah, if it doesn't happen by November 7th, I'd say we probably aren't hearing anything until the end of the next quarter.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Which would be, I mean, like for Take-Two, there would be reasons to do it because what did they launch this year? Like NBA, which does fine every year. Like it does really well. But what else did they have? So maybe if they have like a very bad sort of year, and the moment they announce GTA 6, no one is going to care about that because they know next year you're going to rank in a ton of cash. So they could like even post a picture. We all know it's coming. But I do think people might get tired of having this announcement and then having to wait 8 months for a trailer. So I don't, that will only hurt them. It doesn't matter. So
either way, the game's going to be insanely huge, and it's going to,
it's gonna
next year's going to be crazy. I feel bad. Maybe that's why Sony's been so quiet on some of their big stuff, because they're just like, let's just wait and then put it out as far away from GTA 6 as we can.